And we're back again. The Final Percent podcast with Greg Kimball. Today we're going to talk about goals. I think that if you're like me and you read a lot of motivational books and you read just different life-changing books, you hear about this word goals all the time. Are they important? Absolutely. Probably the most important thing that you can have. How on earth are you going to hit a target that you can't see? So let's talk a little bit about goals. Imagine that you're going to go to a basketball game. Are you excited? Maybe you're not a basketball fan. Are you going to go to a hockey game? Are you excited? Maybe you're not a hockey fan. NFL. We're going to go watch the NFL. Are you excited? Soccer. Probably the biggest sport in the world. Let's go watch soccer. Goal! You get the picture. They're yelling goal. Now imagine if you went to go see any one of those sports and they forgot to put the goals up. What would the players do? What would the coaches do? Is it fun to watch anymore? The whole idea of us watching these spectator sports is the idea of competition. But most importantly, we want to watch people score goals. We want to watch people accomplish something great. Now, think about it. If an NBA player steps onto the court and they forgot to put the hoops up, he can't score a goal. Now ask yourself, are you forgetting to put the goals up in your life? When you wake up in the morning, do you know what you're going to do that day? Do you know what you're going to do 6 months from now? Do you know what you're going to do a year from now? I've realized that most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 3. And with that being said, we should probably try to have a goal and then course correct. One of my favorite people to listen to is Jim Rohn. If you haven't listened to him, honestly, stop the podcast and go buy every audiobook that you can find on that guy, because he's changed my life 100%. Unfortunately, he's passed away. But he said, he's also very funny, but he was talking about having a goal of going to the moon. Sounds realistic now because we've done it. But let's just think about it. Let's think about it a little bit. Having the goal of going to the moon. I think if I remember correctly in the story, they course corrected more than a few times. They always had course corrections. But think about if you really have a goal as big as the moon, how important a course correction is. You can't miss the moon. Now, what I mean by that is if you do, there's no return. If they miss the moon, they don't have enough fuel to change direction and come back to the earth. They have to land on the moon, do the whole slingshot around, do all that stuff, the fancy scientist stuff, if you will. But our lives are a lot like that. Imagine if you want to say, I want to be the world's first single trillionaire. I want to have $1 billion company. I want this. I want that. Okay. Have you set those goals? Do you have your cause and effect plans in place? And are you doing course corrections? Because you have to have measurable goals. Measurable is a huge key thing here. I'm convinced that money is meant to help us measure our value to the market, value to an industry, value to people. Because think about it. We talked about activity versus accomplishment in the prior podcast, but let's drill down a little bit more. Time spent, if we're going to spend the time, okay, do you make as much right now as a New York lawyer? Probably not. I know there's probably a few people out there who are watching this, probably do, but most of you probably not. Now, think about why. You're spending the same amount of time, but one puts more value in the time. but that's because they have gone out in a very measurable fashion and proved their value. You have to win. You have to have goals, and you have to course correct. So if you want to make the moon, now your moon might be pay off your house. Your moon might be sell your business for $100 million. Your moon might be find that amazing woman in your life, that amazing man in your life that can change your life. Well, who do you have to become to make that a reality? Now, a lot of people, this is another Jim Rohn saying, he's talking to his mentor at the time, and his mentor says, you know what, I want you to write down that your goal, a goal of yours needs to be, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire, not to have the money, but for what it will make of you to become a millionaire. Who do you have to become to achieve all you can? You have to be before you can do. You have to do before you can have. So you have to focus on being something, being someone, before you focus on doing something, okay? So what are the goals of your life? How are you setting them up? How are you measuring them? Goals are so important in everything, whether it's a fitness goal, relationship goal, business goal, knowledge goal. Knowledge, I actually just read Think and Grow Rich for the first time. It's such an iconic book. I've heard it in so many books that I've read. I've actually never read the book. I just got finished with it. And they actually say knowledge is not power. Well, I've said multiple times that knowledge is power. But I actually agree with the book. He said knowledge is not power. Knowledge is the potential of power. Because without setting a goal and utilizing it with a measurable faith in who you are and who you can be, knowledge doesn't really mean anything. It's like, Advice is only as valuable as how you use it. So if you have a mentor, someone great, they give you advice, they tell you what to do, they tell you how to do it, but you never do it. If someone gave you the winning, remember Mega Millions was just $1.6 billion or something. Let's say that a day before they gave you those numbers. They gave you, someone on the street, here's the numbers to the Mega Millions. You're going to be a billionaire. Here you go. I can't do it. It's against my religion, or it came to me in a dream, or whatever they say, but I'm giving you this knowledge. But you don't have the faith or belief to spend $3 in what they just told you to take a chance that you might be a billionaire, and maybe they're right. There's a lot of things like that. Now, obviously, that's a very extreme example, but how would you feel if you looked up and you saw those winning numbers written on a napkin, but you never bought the ticket? We have the winning numbers. You are the lottery ticket. You have to put yourself in action, and you have to start accomplishing things, and you have to set goals, and then you have to make the goals, and then you have to course correct, and then you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep going. Perseverance is the key. I think we know that. But if you don't have a goal, what are you persevering to? If you don't have a goal, where are you going? Set your goals. Set your goals. I would encourage everyone to set your goals with your business team, your employees. Set goals with them. There's going to be things that they want from you and because of you. Set some goals with them. Set some goals with your spouse. Set some goals with your business partner. But set some goals for yourself. Who are you going to become to achieve all you can? Are you trying to be that person? Chances are probably not. I'm challenging you to set some goals that you can measure. And then when you measure them, if you're off course just a little bit, course correct and reset. Remember, we're not looking for perfection. We are looking for progress. That's a very famous saying. Just make progress every single day, one step in front of the other. Do not quit. But if you're going to be moving and you're going to be trying to accomplish something, find out what that something is. Set that goal. Great goals aren't going to happen by accident. This has been the Final Percent podcast on goals. I'm back, guys. Final Percent, baby.